It before it was fluctuating a bit more, but it's a lot more stable now.
Oh, we're not muted.
Oh, we're not. Go.
Hey everybody, we're back. Sorry about that. New studio, you get new growing pains. So we're still having some internet issues here and there. Hopefully we have it solved, at least for the time being. So anyway, there's that. But anyway, what I was talking about was Earth Day was yesterday. I did an image for Earth Day. And we wanted you to be able to just donate what you wanted to donate. Purchase it for what you want to pay for it with a minimum of $1. And so it's been going very well. And so we want to continue that through the weekend. And so if you've gone over to creatureartteacher.com slash
Prints.
Earth Day. What's that? Prints?
creatureartteacher.com/prints.
Prints. There you go. You can get this image. It's 18 by 24 inches at 300 DPI. So it's a large image, high resolution. You can print it out. You can use it as a screensaver. You can use it as a poster. You can do whatever you want with it. And we just wanted to give that to you for Earth Day. All we ask in return is a small donation, and we're going to be giving that money to several nature conservation charities. And so we're really excited about that. What else do we have coming up? Also, our sale is still happening. Our COVID sale. Nick and I got together and decided to bring pretty much most of our courses back down to $1, $5, $10. A lot of our courses are at the lowest that they've ever been. And so we want you to go over and check that out as well. So if you're looking for some more education at a very, very affordable price, go to creatureartteacher.com. And once again, that's going to be a limited time as well, because we just can't sustain it forever. So hopefully you can grab something there. And then finally, I want to this is what we're super excited about. Nick and Dustin have been working with Tim Hodge over the last several weeks to actually it was a month or so ago. And Tim Hodge has put together a brand new course. And so today I want to announce that you can pre-order Tim Hodge's new course on storyboarding for television. This is huge. We've had a lot of folks asking about this, and I think this, there's so many. This is such a big market for people to go into work for. I know my brother, for instance, is doing a lot of storyboarding for television. There's a lot of people out there doing it, and it's a big job opportunity. And if it's something that you're interested in, Tim is such a great teacher. And so if you check out, go over to creatureartteacher.com, you'll be able to pre-order his course on storyboarding for television. But he's also put together a little bit of a commercial that we want to play for you. Go ahead, Dustin.
Hi art friends, Tim Hodge here, and I'm really happy to announce the release of my new series of lessons with creatureartteacher.com, Storyboarding for TV Animation. I take you through step by step the creative process, from staging your shots to setting up characters for better acting, camera placement, and creating clear facial expressions. And most importantly, putting shots together to tell a story. I even take you through step by step of the creative process on this particular storyboard I've been working on about a pirate and a monkey in a battle of wits over a treasure. But it's not just watching me do storyboards. I've also included some scripts for you to produce yourself. I've included model sheets and location drawings and even an audio track with actors reading the parts so you can cut together your own animatic if you want to. So stay tuned. I can't wait for you to enjoy it. Again, that's storyboarding for TV animation at creatureartteacher.com.
So,
And we're back.
and we are back. Are we back?
We are back.
We're back. Hey, so there you go. So that's the course. It's really super cool. This is going to be a big one, and I'm really excited for you guys to see it. And like I said, Tim has done several courses for us. If you're familiar with him, he's done quite a bit of the cartoon animals and people and all kinds of stuff. Tim and I have worked together for pushing 30 years now, and he's just one of the best in the business. And I'm so happy that he's been able to get this course out. So.
Yeah, he's got a lot of cool stuff in the course. He's got dialogue tracks and animatics, and
Yeah.
he's got experience as a director, so he's approaching it from both the story artist standpoint and as a director. So it's definitely worth checking out.
I think I'm super excited about it. So anyway, if storyboarding is something you're interested in, even if it's you're interested in animation, I really recommend learning to storyboard, because, and vice versa. If you're a storyboard artist, pick up animation as well, because those two really complement each other. And I really suggest, just having done both. But I've worked both obviously as an animator, but I've done a lot of storyboarding. They both help each other. So that's my recommendation to you. But without further ado, because we're late and we've been talking a lot, I want to get into today's thing. And so today's thing is figure drawing. Now we've been doing, I'm going to pull up a couple of images real quick. We're going to go to my desktop right here, and we're going to go to, let's see here, our costume figures. I want to show you I just want to show you a little handful of some of the images in this course that we're going to be that we're putting together. When I started learning figure drawing in college, when I was about 18 years old, we did a lot of nude figure drawing. We'd bring nude models in, and you'd learn how to draw the human figure. Very rarely did we ever draw costumed figures, and so often, very rarely did I ever have a job where I had to draw a nude human figure. Most of the time, I needed to draw costumed figures. And it wasn't until I got to Disney that I started doing a lot more costumed drawing for character design, and that sort of thing. And I realized that there's a lot of art students out there kind of in the same boat. They don't learn as much costumed, and for me, that's real practical. That's the stuff that you're going to be drawing out in the field. It's nice to understand the human form, but it's better to understand the human form under the fabric. And that's what we're focusing on in this course. So I want you to see different fabrics, different costumes, how they hang on the form, and how they fold. And that's one of the things I'm going to focus on, is the folding, bending, drapery of fabric on the human form. So here's a few images. This is my stepdaughter Gloria, and there's Vedanta right there. And we really got some great lighting. Dustin was the photographer. And this is just a drop in the bucket. We will literally have thousands of photos that will go with the course that you will be able to download and use as reference. And so it was really, really great. There's my father, the old wise old man, dressed in a Grecian toga. Well, I guess togas are Roman, right? So, or whatever. He's wearing a Greek dress. And then there's Marshall in his armor. He looks really good there. So, we always call him the cowboy. When we went to England last year, he wore his cowboy hat everywhere we went. We called him the cowboy in the castle.
Cowboy in the castle.
Yes. But anyway, this is just a little drop in the bucket of all the photos that we shot. And so I went ahead and grabbed one image that I wanted to draw today. And we're going to talk about drapery and folds and light.
Did you pay your family for modeling?
Actually, we did. My father, I get to feed him. He gets fed. That's good.
But everyone else actually is getting a modeling fee. So
Yes, Gloria is getting paid. Yep, everybody's getting paid. So, and she's a great model. One of the things, and it has nothing to do with the drapery, but I love Gloria's hands. She's got the most graceful, long fingers, and they're just really fun hands to draw. And so this is what we're going to do today. We're going to focus on this image. I love the dappled light. I love the satiny kind of finish to the fabric, which is really interesting. One of the things I always loved about seeing a Sargent painting, for instance, in person, is that Sargent was such a master of painting fabrics and the human figure. And with just a few strokes, you could tell if that was a knitted material or a satin material, and the same with the hands too. He could get hands in such a way, and just with a few masterful brush strokes, he'd have these beautiful hands. And so we're going to attempt doing that today digitally. And then next week, I think we might try to do another setup like this, but we're going to have a live model. And we're going to be maybe doing like 10-minute poses for the whole duration of the class.
We set it up literally a structured 10-minute poses, and they can draw along with us.
No, that's the idea. Yeah, definitely. I really want to do that because I think we can treat it like if it works out, this might be something that we can do regularly. That's my goal. So we have, a monthly figure class or something like that. So let's start something. I want to see what people think about that. See if that's something you'd be interested in, because it might be something that we might be able to set up. I'm not sure yet, but we do have a little bit more space now. All right. Do you pay your family? Yes, in food.
In food. And Gabby literally just hopped in saying, "Oh, hey guys."
Gabby, you're always late.
And she just missed the entire explanation. She just asked, "What's on the agenda for today?"
Sorry, pal, you missed it. All right, so this is going to be fun. I'm going to get right in here. We're going to dive in. First thing that I do when I look at drapery folds, I want to think about what's underneath. And in this case, I want to, with Gloria, we purposely set her up so that she's looking, and we've got different directions happening. There's different tilts. Her head is tilted one way, while her shoulders are tilted another way. Things like that. And so I'm going to go through very, very roughly.
We got a lot of first-time watchers today.
Oh, really?
Yeah. No.
Oh, that's cool. First timers, wow. So what I'm doing here is I want to find lines of action. Things that, look at how her shoulders work up to her head. I build this basically a very rudimentary kind of lathe. A rudimentary triangle.
Christopher Von Benson says, "Aaron, it's about 20 years since I studied my animation degree, and I've recently restarted and love it. I can't afford TV paint. Is Procreate good enough for pro work?"
Procreate, I don't think, is good enough for pro work. If you're looking to do pro work, if you're looking to, kind of get back into the industry, I think you're going to have to do something better than that, and you might have to figure out a way to get TV paint or Toon Boom, which is another one, Toon Boom Harmony. But
for animation, I mean.
Yeah.
For illustration, people use Procreate professionally.
Yeah, but he was talking about animation, right? Yeah. I think for animation, I just don't think it's got all the bells and whistles for you to. Yet, exactly. So what I'm doing here is I'm looking for the big shapes. And this is something that even as a 53-year-old artist, I still do, which is I draw too big. I always and this is something I've fought with even since as a student. I've always drawn too big. So overall, she was just a little bit big, so I just shrunk her down. And what I'm trying to do is find these key areas. I look at the angle of her elbows and making sure that that's right and it's matching up on the screen where I have her reference photo. There's some foreshortening, in her arms as well. So I want to make sure I get some of that.
And to Frank J. Furrer, all these images will be in as part of the course, but I think he's asking for right now. Can you supply this image so we can try to paint it?
You just have to take a screenshot. We can't supply it right
Yeah, I can't supply it now because we're just not set up to do that. But if you want to take a screenshot, you can do that. Otherwise, just wait a few weeks and we will have this out. Let me give you a screenshot, really, the opportunity to do a screenshot. Here we go. So this is being recorded right now. So take this opportunity to take your screenshot and boom, you're done.
Bing, bang,
And
boom,
boom goes the dynamite.
and boom goes the dynamite.
All right. So I'm just, and you notice I'm being very, very loose, but one thing I want to reiterate is when you're being loose, it's not being sloppy. I'm trying to be as accurate as I possibly can, but I'm not sitting and just really trying to render everything out. I'm trying to make sure that everything's accurate and it's hitting the right way.
Oh, and for animation on the iPad, Calipeg, on the other hand, is actually a pretty good.
Oh yeah, of course. Why didn't I think of that? We've got a course on Calipeg. Stupid me. Sorry. But is Calipeg up to snuff for being professional as well? I think it is.
Yeah, Travis uses it all the time. So
Here we go. So what I'm doing right here is I want to find the big shapes. I want to find the big silhouette of how that dress is coming off of this chair. The big shapes.
Another question from Lyudmil Ilyev.
Oh, Ludmil?
Yeah, Lyudmil.
I got your book from Sarasota, right?
I did pronounce that properly, right?
That's Ludmil from Sarasota, right?
I think so.
Yes. That book is a masterpiece. Ludmil just put out a new book of paintings that he did of his beautiful dog, Abby.
Awesome.
And I'll tell you what, man, it's beautiful.
Yeah, but he writes, hey, Aaron, talking about Sergeant, what you mentioned earlier, would you try a costumed figure in watercolors on one of the streams, or will it take too much time? That would be so cool. Cheers.
It wouldn't take too much time. You know what? I'm not afraid to fail. My biggest fear is just completely failing I'm not nearly as good as Sargent was at costumed characters in watercolor. But you know what? Why not? Let's just say, hey, we're going to give it a shot and see what happens.
I think it'll also be fun to do that in the course too, like just doing multiple.
Well, definitely,
mediums.
we're going to be doing traditional and digital in the course, but it's not dependent upon. One of the most common questions we get on a lot of our courses is, what do I need to have Photoshop to do this course, or do I, can I do this on paper? 90% of our courses are not software dependent, unless I'm doing a course, unless the course is digital painting and in Photoshop or something like that. Like my lighting course, even though I do it digitally, it still applies traditionally. My character design course, same thing. The animation course, same thing. What I'm doing is I'm talking about principles. I'm not talking about software. So for this course, we're going to be talking about principles and the way fabric falls and lies, and we're not talking about rendering it digitally. We're going to be talking about what we're seeing, and you render it the way you decide.
What forms of traditional media are you planning on doing it in?
Probably charcoal. Charcoal would be the easiest for me. So what I've done here is I've kind of gotten her her basic shape in here, and I've gotten the silhouettes in here and the way that I want it. And so what I'm doing now at this stage, I just want to show you really quickly what I'm thinking about. I'm looking at silhouette. So I literally, even though I've got some detail inside, I am literally looking at this right now. This is my biggest concern, is getting this, all of this, just right. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at the negative spaces, like that negative space between her body and her right arm, right there, that triangle that's formed, the negative space between, I'm sorry, her left arm, the negative space right there on the left between her right arm and her thigh, you know, I want to make, and this shape right here of the entire dress coming down into her foot, all of this whole shape, that's the shape I want to make sure that I'm getting right. That's what I'm mostly paying attention to right now. And basically it's there. This is how I start everything. This is, you work broad and then you go to the details. And so this is how I start broadly. And this is how, you know, people say, how the heck do you do a painting or a digital painting? How the heck do you do that in 3 hours? Well, this is how I do it. You do it very, very methodically. I do it the same way every time.
Zhangji has a really crazy story.
Yes,
So
let's hear it. Hey, Zhangji, how you doing?
after opening all those old boxes of art this week, you will appreciate this. I dropped a sketchbook on a snowy road 10 years ago, and it was just returned to me intact yesterday.
Wow.
Great memories.
That's super cool.
How do you maintain good posture while you're animating? I feel myself turning into a banana every time I draw.
You know, that is a, well, first of all, I'm a big believer in having the right equipment. And even though this might be over the top for some people, that includes your chairs. And so I invest in they're pricey, but they're great chairs. And so I have Herman Miller Aeron chairs.
Which is what you had at Disney, right?
It's what I had at Disney. We all had them at Disney. And so I was in those chairs for 20 years and just realized how amazing they were. And so, you know, it's a business expense, and we got those chairs, and they work great, and they're a huge help as far as keeping my posture right and keeping my back from hurting, all of that.
And Jason Makaruba Smith, hopefully I pronounced that middle name properly, says, "Hi, Aaron.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going? Loving your content. Obviously, I know your work, but only just discovered you. And I began using Calipeg and loving it. Thanks for the inspiration."
Oh, good. That's awesome.
Our Calipeg course is just $5 right now, by the way.
Oh, wow. Well,
$5.
if you guys are on Procreate, and Calipeg itself isn't that expensive, is it?
No,
Can't
I
remember.
think they've got a couple of different pricing options because it's sort of like.
Is it a subscription?
They've got a subscription option, but you can also buy it flat out, like a lifetime
Oh, okay.
access. So I'm not 100% sure what all the current pricing is, but it's pretty reasonable for what it is.
So Martin Berger has a question, and he did already kind of answer it with the it's about the different kinds of traditional medias you plan on doing for this upcoming course. Is it going to be just charcoal, as you said, or are you also going to be doing like acrylics or gouache or any?
No, I probably won't be doing no, because this isn't about mediums. This is about what you're seeing. So it's not about, hey, how to draw folds, and it's about understanding folds. And so I'm going to do them in different mediums just to vary it up a little bit. But it's really not a course on you know, understanding them for gouache or for oil. So I'm going to pick some mediums that'll be quick, like charcoal.
And Becky Lockley asks, "Have you noticed a bug on your Photoshop? Mine keeps stopping and enlarging the brush. Drives me mad."
No, I don't have that. I've got a pressure sensitivity bug that I've found I find a little annoying, but I haven't found it changing the size of the brush.
What kind of chair was it you were talking about before?
It's Herman Miller is the company, and they're Aeron chairs. It's AERRON. They're not cheap. I'm forewarning you. They're not cheap, but they are very, very good chairs.
And I'm sure they last for a long time and they're comfy.
Yeah, my chair runs about, because I've got a big caboose, so I have a large, so my chair is about $1,600. That's what you're going to pay for it. But I had the same chair for 20 years.
Yeah, I remember using chairs similar to that. I don't remember if it was the same brand, but it's that same like stretchy mesh.
Yeah.
And oh my God, it is so comfy, and because it's mesh, it breathes, and so you never get too hot when sitting in the chair.
Well, that's a big part of it, but it really supports. Even for a big guy like me, it gives me a lot of support.
Yeah, the one I have at
and they have lumbar support too, so you can adjust the bottom of the chair for your back.
Yeah, I have one at home that is like $200-300 I got from Office Depot, and it doesn't have the mesh bottom, like it's just a standard like plush fabric, but the back end is mesh, and it also has a neck headrest kind of design.
I'll tell you, I bought one a few years ago for like $300, and it fell apart within a year.
Yeah, I'm surprised mine is still intact after all.
So that's why I just decided that's it. We're going back to the good chairs, and I haven't regretted it.
Going all out.
Yeah.
John on YouTube says my Aeron is 17 years old, still in great shape.
Yeah, that's the thing. Some people find out how much they cost. Are you crazy? Well, no, because you get what you pay for.
Right tool for the job is what my dad always said.
Yeah, always. All right, so I'm starting to refine this a little bit now, you can see. And so what I'll do now is I'm just going to lighten this up a little bit. I'll knock the opacity back, and I'm going to create a new layer on top. And I'm going to change brushes to my Pastel C brush. This is a brush that is available on the website under my custom brushes. My first custom brush set, which I think is $1 right now.
It is, yep.
Yeah.
I'll post a link.
So I'm just going to come in and start refining the drawing. And then once the drawing is refined, then we'll start adding color. And because I'm not going to go I don't want to go super tight. I can already feel myself getting in here and trying to get a little bit tight with it. And I'm going to force myself to pull back a little. But Gloria's got such a great face. I want to make sure that I get this right.
I got a question from Jeff DiCosola. Writes, "Hey Aaron."
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, how's it going? I noticed you never rotate the canvas or page when you draw, at least in your digital work. Is that intentional, or is it something you just never really think about?
It's something I never think about. Every once in a while I'll rotate it, but yeah, it's just something I've gotten used to working in that method. And so yeah, so I don't think about it really. That's it. I never knew it existed in the early days of working in Photoshop, so I never got used to using it.
And from Eden Skirtsy, in your opinion, which Disney movie has the best soundtrack?
The best soundtrack, that would be, I love Tarzan. I really love Tarzan a lot. That's not right. Let's see here. And I'm thinking about some of the old ones too.
I would say that my top three would be Brother Bear, especially the transformation song is probably one of my favorites.
You're such a kiss up.
No, it's true. I love it. But also Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah,
love the chorus in that, and also The Lion King, like that opening sequence.
Lion King is pretty.
Yeah, Lion King's pretty iconic, I guess.
Yeah,
There's something about Tarzan that just gets me. I don't know.
it's
The-
Phil.
It's not
It'll
Phil because I loved it before we started working together, but it was but I think it's some of the scenes too. It's the one where she's singing him to sleep, this lullaby.
See, in Lion King, I like a lot of the Lebo M tracks.
Yeah.
That aren't even on the.
Yeah,
Not even on the main soundtrack. There's a lot of ones that because he did like a volume 2 or whatever.
yeah, that's
A lot of
true.
that stuff's really good.
Well, one of those I think that was it ever on the soundtrack? It was for Oliver and Company. The Why Should I Worry?
Yeah, Billy Joel.
Yeah, Billy Joel. Was that on the soundtrack?
I think so. Why should I worry?
Why should I care?
Yeah,
And,
I was an intern when they were making that movie.
yeah, that one also has that song in particular is a lot of fun. But Macaulay Christensen asked about your chair. For expensive as it is, does it have a lifetime warranty?
I don't know if it has a lifetime warranty. It does have a good warranty, and I don't have it off the top of my head. I just recommend just looking up, going to Herman Miller. It's literally hermanmiller.com. HermanMiller.com. And they've got all kinds of chairs. This is a specific model within the Herman Miller setup. So they're Aeron chairs, AERRON. And they're
12 years parts and labor.
12 years. Well, there you go. That's a pretty good.
For a chair.
That's a pretty
Wow.
good warranty. 12 years parts and labor.
And Ina Skirtsy also asks, can you do a video on how to draw on canvas textures in Photoshop and explain how to make illustrations that looks more traditional in Photoshop?
Say that one more time.
Can you make a video on how to draw on canvas style textures in Photoshop?
Yes.
And explain how to make illustrations that look more traditional in Photoshop.
Yes, absolutely. I've actually got brushes. I've done some brushes and released some canvas textures, talking about exactly that. And I've got that one that I did of the peacock. Do you remember that peacock painting that I did? That was that really textured canvas.
Yeah, it actually.
I think we have it.
50 canvas texture brushes that I read about creatureartteacher.com for just $1.
Yes. So if you go to creatureartteacher.com, I actually give a whole demonstration with the brushes where I do this peacock on a canvas texture and make it look like it's oil brush or oil painting, where I'm doing dry brush and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, the demo's right on the product page.
Yeah, the demo's right there. That's right. I knew I remember seeing it there. So
And
here what I'm doing is I'm making sure, I'm just trying to refine everything now, working through. Other people work differently than I do. Other people like to keep it rough and just slowly refine it. I work differently. I start rough in the drawing, but then I want to find that nice drawing in there, and I use that as my base. To me, this is the blueprint. And other people like to kind of refine it as they go, which is a perfectly fine way to go. This is just my method.
Martin Berger asks, have you seen the drapery studies that Michelangelo did when he was young?
Oh, that hack? Yes, I have.
Hey, Tim Hodge just hopped on. He said, hey, Aaron.
Hey, Tim Hodge. I hope you probably missed it. I don't think you saw in the beginning, but we played your commercial because today your course is up for pre-order.
Woohoo!
So
Show the slide.
show the slide. It's a good opportunity to show the slide. So just as a reminder, for those of you that were on earlier, Tim Hodge is on right now. So say hi to Tim, give him some love. But Tim is an amazing storyboard artist, along with a cartoonist, which you've seen in his How to Draw Cartoon Animals and Humans series. But today you can get his course on storyboarding for TV animation. You can get that in pre-order today. So we're really 50% off, exactly.
The course is out on May 7th.
Super excited. We'll probably play the commercial again at the end. We'll do that.
There is actually a 1-hour preview for the course up on our YouTube channel right now.
Oh, it's up right now?
Yep.
Oh, shoot, I forgot about that.
Oh, snap.
If you want to get a preview of what the course, some of the content, there is a 1-hour preview on our YouTube channel. Check it out on CBS.
Check it out.
So we're refining. I'm just coming in, and you notice too, I try to keep, like on the lace, I'm just being very loose with it. And I don't get super sketchy when I'm drawing. You'll see I lay in a line and try to just live with it. But I'm very careful about the lines that I do put down. Before I put them down, I think about them. You know, you want to do that, you know. Think about the line you're putting down. That'll keep your drawings from being really kind of, for lack of a better term, hairy. You know, they get all hairy from all the lines you're throwing down. Sketchy, sketchy, sketchy. And if you just think about what you're putting down before you throw it in there, you can keep your drawings a bit cleaner.
John Gomez just hopped in and says, yo, how's it hanging? Who's that you're drawing? That there's Gloria that he is drawing.
This is Gloria. This is Vedanta's daughter, Gloria. G-L-O-R-I. She's an amazing model. Love photographing her.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun.
Actually, her mom, the two of them make really good models. And one of the things I love about both of them is they get it. When there's so many times I try to get somebody to model and they just stiffen right up. Like Gloria, she gets it. She understands, you know, hey, twist this way, grab the drapery. We want to focus on this fold and yada, yada, yada. And she understands how to get her hands really graceful.
And also just went to showing how out of shape I am.
Oh, yeah.
My legs are sore because I was constantly moving around, crouching, getting all the good shooting angles, and I'm not quite used to that. I'm used to maybe walking and then maybe crouching once in a while, but it was like all over the place. And but it was definitely a really fun experience, and hopefully my legs will do better next time.
What's the longest time you ever went without drawing or painting?
You know, I don't know. Probably a few weeks. In my life.
Yeah, I have to disagree. You sleep with the paintbrush in your hand.
Yeah.
I've seen him fall asleep with the paintbrush.
I have. I've done that.
Victor Mahanri Soto Alvarez.
Right on.
Quite a long name. Asks, hey Aaron.
Hey, how's it going, eh?
How's it going, eh? Any advice for a recent art graduate wanting to work on the entertainment industry?
Wow, that's a broad question. You got to have a top-notch portfolio. All right, that's the first thing. One thing you got to understand is that you're out there competing against everybody else, and studios are going to take top-notch. And so if you're less than top-notch, if there's somebody out there with a better portfolio, they're going to get it. So you got to really work hard at getting that portfolio as strong as you can possibly make it. You know, beyond that, it's really just getting out there and not getting discouraged and pounding the pavement, and you know, get your stuff in front of as many studios as possible.
And make sure to sabotage as many of your competitors as possible.
But make sure you're specific about what you're looking for too, because you know, there's a lot of opportunity out there in different things, and you just want to make sure that you're being specific, I guess, is the right.
Here's a question. I think I know what they mean. Aaron, on the bear and the hare, did you animate the characters on the spot like a treadmill or progressive?
It depended. Some of the stuff was like like the bear when there's a profile shot of the bear walking through the forest. I did that on a treadmill, so that we just did it as a cycle, and the forest panned by. And we used that. We actually used that animation several times. There's a scene where he's walking back to his cave through the moonlight, and he's walking across this log that's across the water. We used the same animation. But then there's other times where I was animating a rabbit. I did some treadmill, but some I ran right across the paper. So it really depended on what the layout was and what the shot required. That's a good question.
And it's cool because it was actually photographed in camera with the cutouts. You could completely get away with recycling the animation. And
Yep.
It would look totally different with the lighting.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah. It was a pretty ingenious way of making a film. I still want to make a movie that way.
That piece is awesome that you did for Earth Day. Did you record the process?
I did not. It was a really complex, hard piece to do, and I did it over, a couple of days. And when I record something, I try to record it all in one shot. It's just easier that way. Otherwise, I'm turning it off, turning it back on, and about 90% of the time, I forget to turn it back on. So I'll draw for like 3 hours and realize, oh, I haven't been recording. So rather than try to remember all that, I just decided just to draw.
Some people might not know what we're talking about that are just joining us. We have a digital print available on our website right now. If you go to creatureartteacher.com.
Yeah, you want to pull that up, Dustin?
Yes. Sorry, I was a little sidetracked here. I was looking at the comments. What's going on?
The digital print.
Oh, right. Earth Day.
The one we were just talking about for the last minute and a half.
It's up.
There we go. So yeah, the Earth Day print was a lot of fun. It's a little different than what I usually do. So I just wanted to try to push myself to do something different. I like it. I would probably do things a little differently on it if I did it again, but it was kind of fun. I really enjoyed it, and I'm really happy about the reception that I got with it. So thank you guys, and it's really nice to have the donations that we're getting out of this that we're going to be we're putting in towards the World Wildlife Fund, National Geographic, and what's the Australian one? Wires, yes.
Who we helped earlier last year. So.
Yeah, with the fire, yeah. So once again, I'm just coming through, just getting this drawing done. Once this drawing is, and I'm actually getting pretty close to having as much of the drawing as I'm gonna do, because all the fabric, we can get away with just kind of finding it. Because one thing you do want to understand, especially with complex fabrics like this, you don't have to be absolutely exact, especially if you understand how fabric works. That's going to give you the ability to simplify without breaking the rules of fabric tension and folds and that sort of thing. Because you don't want to get caught up in making sure that every little fold and everything is exactly the right dimension that it's supposed to be, and it's falling in the right place, and yada yada yada. It just gets really complicated. So my biggest thing is just making sure that I've always got at least the silhouette pretty darn close. I've got the leg underneath, like the anatomy, like right here. Let me pull this up. So right here, you can feel her knee under there. I want to make sure that that's in the right place. It's those types of things that you want to make sure are working right. And then we've got different folds coming off over here. We got drop folds, tension folds, all kinds of stuff. Pleats, or tube, I should call them tube folds, which are right here, which pleats are. Tubular folds. There we go. Drop folds, diaper folds. Here's the diaper fold right here. That's one of the things I'm going to go over, the 6 different types of folds. That's going to be part of the course, and we're going to do that first. Then we're going to get into the figure drawing. But I want you to understand that those folds and how they work before we actually get into doing the figure drawing.
Aaron, what's your favorite part of working on an animated film or show?
My favorite part is I love pre-production because you're really coming up with the ideas and you're really kind of paving the way for what the movie is going to be. But it really, for me, it doesn't start to come alive until literally the characters start coming alive. So once we start getting the rough animation, storyboarding's fun, that's great, but it's the rough animation, it's where the rubber hits the road, it's where you first see the acting. That's where those characters first come to life that I just, oh man, it's so satisfying. Because that's when it first, to me, even though you can storyboard the whole movie, it's where it first starts to feel like a movie because you're seeing you know, what it's going to be. And so to see those characters who have only been, you got to realize those characters have only been in your head. They've never emoted or moved across the screen before. And so everybody might have a slightly different version in their head. And so it's not until you see an animator's take, and the actor's voice performance that you start to see what that final version of who these characters are start to come to life. And that's a lot of fun. So she's got this black kind of lacy frill attached to the dress, and I'm just kind of indicating right here. There we go.
I'm all out of questions over here.
I'm all out of love.
So much without you.
All right, so I've got the silhouette in here. I've got the dress basically laid in. I've got her sketched in. I've got her face a little bit wide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to cheat, because as an artist you can cheat on you all you want. Let me see here. Actually, I take that back. I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this part right here, just that part. And I'm just going to squish it in. There we go. Just squish it in. And squish it in. That feels more like Gloria to me. Hey, there we go.
There we go.
There we go.
What was the most valuable thing you learned while attending Ringling College of Art Design?
The most valuable thing I learned, discipline. I really didn't have much discipline before that. And then Disney really taught me discipline. But I really, just it gave me a sense of the world and the business of art. To be honest, I probably learned in a more concentrated amount of time, in a quicker amount of time when I went to Disney. The things I learned there really took off. Now, granted, it was a different time, a different school, but I felt like in the 6 weeks I was at Disney, I felt like I learned as much as I did in 3 years at Ringling. But it was such an incredibly concentrated amount of work that we did with some of the best artists in the world, and it was just it was a great opportunity.
Are you familiar with, or are you a fan of Yuri Norstein?
Why do I know that name?
Russian animator.
Yes.
He did the Hedgehog and the Fog in the 70s, the Tale of Tales.
I can't remember, to be honest. I should be shading, not with that line. There. Okay, so now I'm going to start laying in some color. We're going to be kind of loose with it. I'm going to find my mid-tone yellow. I'm going to start with that. Just that mid-tone, nice yellow. Now this is what I would do. I would start with a dark tone. If I was doing this in acrylic, I would start just roughing in kind of a mid-tone in there and then working light and dark at the same time. In watercolor, I would be working from absolute light to dark. So different mediums are gonna have you do different approaches. And let me get this here. Let me see. I want this brush.
Citizen Seagal asks, figure drawing versus gesture drawing. Any tips to learn? I struggle to learn.
Well, I mean, gesture drawing is figure drawing. It's just you're just finding that quick figure underneath. It's learning. Gesture drawing is learning to see that gesture, the thrust, the main pose, the main flow that exists under the figure drawing. The figure drawing, to me, they're one and the same. They're interchangeable.
Have you ever met James Baxter?
Oh, I've worked with James Baxter for many years. Yes, James Baxter and I are friends. And he's probably one of the best animators in the world. I've always been a big fan of James. He is insanely good. I don't like to use the word talented because to me, talented means you just kind of have it. James has worked his butt off for years to be the animator that he is.
His Rafiki animation is pretty incredible.
It's pretty insane. There's one scene that just kind of blows by in Lion King, but Rafiki's got the bowl, and I always talk about this. And you see those ellipses change. You can feel the perspective of the bowl change.
That's all done by hand.
It's all done by hand. Yeah, he just eyeballs it. The way I talk about four-legged locomotion, but I've sat in on his lectures, and his ability to understand weight and shift of weight and explain it it's incredible. He's really, really great.
Martin Berger's asking, when will the live animal watercolor workshop be ready for download? It still says coming soon in my account.
Oh, it's available. So shoot an email to support at Creature Art Teacher. You should be able to download it.
Yeah, you should have been able to get that a long time ago.
And it got you far away.
So just shoot an email to support at creatureartteacher.com and we'll get that sorted out for you.
Oh, it's so light and airy in here. We've got so much room.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah, if this was in the other studio, Nick and I would be
on top.
Would be shoulder to shoulder.
So there's our silhouette of our dress. So that's going to be our base color, and I'm going to go in and just really quickly lay in some of the other colors for the hair, skin tones, that sort of thing.
Twitch question: what type of drawing studies are your favorite, or which do you suggest for budding artists?
Which types of drawing studies are my favorite?
And which do you suggest for?
If I understand the question, just what are the exercises that I recommend? To me, it's just if you're drawing, then you're learning. So, anytime you can go to the park and draw people doing things, draw people acting, and not acting, but doing things, and to me that's acting. So when you can sit down and do a drawing, and someone can look at that drawing later on and see the story of what those people were doing in the drawing, that's a good drawing. And so that's what I'm talking about. And you could see that at, you know, we used to say go to the mall and draw, but does anybody ever go to malls anymore? I don't think anybody goes to the mall
I
anymore.
just went the other day, actually.
Yeah, well, I did
It
too.
was by accident, because being new to the area, I was picking up family from the airport,
Yeah.
and they asked me where Chick-fil-A was, so I was like, oh, just give me directions to the nearest Chick-fil-A. It turned out to be in the mall. So we ate the food court.
But yeah, we were just at the Oviedo Mall picking up costumes for the for our course. If any of you live in Central Florida and you're looking for costume models or looking for costumes for models, man, it's the Penguin Point. Penguin Point is the name of the company, and they're in the Oviedo Mall. We walked in to get these costumes, and I was literally blown. I mean, it's just I was so overwhelmed because I never really rented costumes before. It was always done for me, and so I didn't know what to expect. I thought, hey, we're going to get a pirate outfit and a Victorian outfit. No, it was literally tens of thousands of garments hanging up on racks that you just got to piece together and figure it out. But point being, there is so much there. If you're looking for, like I said, if you're in Central Florida area and you're looking for, you know, stuff to dress up and photograph, I recommend Penguin Point.
John Gomez asks, you ever done caricatures?
That was one of the ways I got through college. I used to do caricatures at bar mitzvahs and debutante parties, all kinds of stuff. Yep, I did lots of caricatures. Yes, yes, yes.
Did you ever get nervous drawing in front of hundreds, possibly thousands of people?
I did in the beginning, yeah. I don't anymore. But I used to get nervous. If you're talking about the live stream, not at all. I don't mind drawing in front of you guys. I love it. And you know, a lot of times I'll mess up, and you know, you get to see, hey, everyone messes up. Now I used to do a lot of drawing when we go on the road promoting a Disney movie. You know, and I'd have to draw in front of, you know, several thousand press, and I wasn't as confident back then, and yeah, that was tough. Then I got cocky.
Always, you know, the people that work in the Disney parks, they have to sit there and draw the same character shots.
Oh yeah.
And again, and again, and again.
Yeah. I know, it's tough. So all I'm doing right now is I'm just laying in a very quick local color. We're going to be breaking this up. I'm going to be putting light and shadow and variations in the tone and that sort of thing. I just got to get this laid in first.
Citizen Seagal asks, is the new course including the fundamentals of figure drawing?
No, it's not going to be fundamentals of figure drawing. That's going to be a different course. And it was funny because I have been debating about whether I should do figure drawing. I've done an anatomy course, but to me, that's different than figure drawing. And but I figured, you know, I figured the logistics of figuring out how to do a nude course is going to be more difficult than doing clothed costumed characters or figures. And so I chose to go with the costume characters first because it's easier to do that. I still need to kind of figure out, especially when we do figure drawing, how to pull in nude models and how we market that and just all that kind of stuff.
I mean, we have that in Tony's place sculpting course.
Yeah, but for me, I want to be able to have live models come in,
Yep.
and I haven't had the. It's just a whole other ball of wax.
Yep, absolutely. More than
Yeah.
Have you ever had to deal with any hand or wrist pain?
No. Don't tend to have any problem with that.
Because you draw from the shoulder, right?
Yes, unless I'm like right now I'm doing some detailing work, so I'm drawing more from the wrist, but otherwise I tend to draw from the shoulder, and the angle that I draw at, the way I'm sitting here, helps as well.
Do you like Studio Ghibli style animation?
I do. Yeah, I really do a lot.
Manuel Ramirez Vidal asks, when did you decide you wanted to make a website called Creature Art Teacher?
About 8 years ago. I was with some friends that over at Photoshop World. No, what's the
Photoshop.
Photoshop. Oh, yeah, Photoshop World. I had some friends over there. What's that? Oh, Scott Kelby. Yeah, that's who it was, Scott Kelby. And they were helping me out with some stuff, and I was interested in starting this business. I was talking to a couple of them. One of the guys, we were trying to come up with names, and he goes, one of the guy goes, "Hey, Creature Art Teacher," and I went, "Oh, that's it,
Done.
And but the idea for the business really came about, me sitting on my back porch and trying to decide, what I wanted to do for my next career, because the studio that I was working for at the time went bankrupt, and so I've been making this movie for 3 years, and now all of a sudden I had no movie to work on, and I was out of a job, and I needed to figure out what I was going to do next. And so I decided I didn't want to go back and deal with executives anymore. So I decided Creature Art Teacher was going to be the thing to do. I started thinking about Glenn Keane, who was my mentor, an amazing artist, an animator. And he had taught me so many years earlier. And so I decided I wanted to kind of do what he did for me, which was he gave me so much knowledge, and I had the ability to take the 30 plus years of animation knowledge that I've been building up and share it on a global scale through social media, and that's how the business was born.
Side note on the domain name, Proco always calls us Creature Fart Teacher.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
So I had to buy that domain name just to make sure he couldn't do anything. So if you type that in, it goes to our website.
Creature Fart Teacher.
Yeah.
Creature Fart Teacher. Hey, he farted. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to kind of vary up some of these tones on the local color. I'll knock the opacity down a little bit. Get rid of the shape dynamics. So like in the fingers, they're going to be a little more red. Actually, a lot more red. I want them a lot more red.
Do you think that the transition to 3D animation changed the way stories are told in the industry?
No, I don't think so at all. I think it changed the way movies get made, for sure, but I don't think it changed storytelling at all.
The only impact that I think that it probably had, and it's not really, it's more technique than story structure, is the cameras are a lot more dynamic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. They freed the camera up quite a bit. I agree with that. But as far as how you lay out the story and tell it, other than being more dynamic in that way, I think the structures are all pretty much the same. So, but I guess that answers that question the way you answered it there.
Zonji says, "Hi, Aaron.
Hey, again. How you doing?"
Stan Prokopenko and Marshall Vandruff talk about choosing your art parents. Aside from Glenn Keane, who would you consider your art parent?
Well, to me, there's several artists that really encouraged me. One specifically, his name is Phil Fisher, who's a oil and watercolor painter in Naples, Florida, where I grew up. And he was always a big supporter of me and gave me lessons when I was a kid, and just all kinds of great stuff. And I would consider him a big art parent. Him and his wife Natalie Guess. And when it came time for me to go to college, I didn't have enough money, and they raised money for me to go. You know, just really great stuff like that. And so Phil Fisher, follow him on Instagram. Oh, there you go. He's a great guy, really supportive, and you know, has always been there for me, and we still keep in touch. I remember meeting him when I was in 7th grade, and he had some paintings that he was showing, and they're all animal paintings, and I was just really floored by them, and I went up and introduced myself, and we became friends ever since.
Any movies you're looking forward to seeing soon?
You know, I've so lost touch with the movie industry and what's coming out.
I think it's because 2020, without the theater event thing, it's kind of.
Well, that's the thing. I was always a big theater guy going to the movies, and but since COVID, and there's just so much garbage that is getting through. You know, they're only releasing the garbage movies, it seems like, with few exceptions.
Because they're waiting for.
Yeah, exactly.
The box office to come back.
Yeah, I'm personally looking forward to Shang-Chi, the new Marvel movie that they.
Looked good to me.
And
I was like, it just.
Which one is that?
It's the new Marvel one. It's kind of like an Asian inspired one. It's actually an Asian cast, and it's hard to tell from the first preview. It just looks sort of like Marvel's doing a ninja movie. But you know what I mean? Or ninja's the wrong word, but
right.
I don't
what
know.
about
it feels like Mulan or something. You know,
yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's breaking any new ground. At least in the initial preview.
What's the one with Scarlett Johansson? What's that one?
Black Widow.
Oh, is it just a Black Widow movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because that one I think is kind of cool.
And actually, Netflix recently released a trailer for the next season of Love, Death, and Robots, which is going to be next month. And they have announced also in the same trailer that they're doing a season 3 in 2022.
Well, that's cool.
So very, very excited for that.
So here what I'm doing is I'm going to get very, very kind of just abstract and try to get the spirit of this lace without really getting in there and doing every detail. I'm literally just going to kind of scribble it in.
Manuel Ramirez asks, when it's time to record the voices for a movie, like for the voice actors and actresses, does the actor have the entire script or just the lines of dialogue for his character?
Just the line? No. Well, you've got the entire sequence. So we've got what are called sides. The sides are it's their lines. So they've got mainly their lines and they're blocked in, but before they come to the recording session, they're going to want to know what the context is and all of that. So, so that's they'll get the entire sequence usually, so they know basically the business that's going on and they can understand it.
I've heard a lot of voice actors, they use highlighters and they highlight their lines.
Yes.
In the script, so they know where theirs come up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. Any actor in any script.
Yeah. Just because, well, first of all, the name of their character is written right there, but. And so I always had the pleasure of being the one that when I would direct, I would read against the actors. That's all right. So I would read against the actors. So, like, I can say that I've actually read scenes with Joaquin Phoenix and things like that. It was fun. I always had a lot of fun doing that. Sometimes I would blow if we were doing comedy, like The Moose, for example. I got kicked out of the booth because I kept blowing the take because I kept laughing.
Martin Berger is asking, will you do a live stream with Proco?
We've done live streams with Proco. We'll probably do more in the future. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Have we done a live with him?
Didn't we?
We've done videos with him, but I don't
Oh, maybe
remember
we
us
didn't do a
doing
live stream with him.
Yeah, I don't think we've done a live stream.
Yeah, we talked about doing one, drawing with magma. Molten
Magma.
And Zelji has a question for me asking, Dustin, how's the Sony A1 for you? I am so excited, but unfortunately, it's not here yet. Yeah, instead, I thought it was going to be a one-day delivery, but instead, they're saying it's going to be delivered by Tuesday of next week, so I still got a little more time to wait. But really excited. And Kieran Rose asks, how's Snow Bear coming along?
Oh, you had to ask that.
Had to ask.
It's coming along. It's getting storyboarded still. We got some, we're still working on it, but it's coming along. I'm very, very happy with it. We'll have more once I get this course done. I'm actually going on to Snow Bear, and we're gonna be doing some work on it. Hopefully full time, but you never know.
And Manuel asks, have you watched the Snyder cut of Justice League?
Yeah, I couldn't get through it. Sorry. I know a lot of people love it, but I'm not I don't like to bad talk any filmmakers because making a movie is super, super hard. I know how hard it is. But I also felt like it was super, super indulgent.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I couldn't get.
Yeah, isn't the new Snyder cut like 4 hours long or something?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a movie.
I couldn't get through the first hour of it, but
I just watched it like 3 times.
has she? Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah. That's just me though. So because I know there's a lot of people out there that love it, and that's awesome.
Well, it's a huge improvement over the version that was released 50 years.
And I know, and Zack Snyder's a very cool dude. He's a nice guy. I'm not. I get. They're too. I don't know what the right. I know he came from commercials. That was his world, and they tend to have that over the top, too much over the top for me. Yeah.
I mean, you could argue.
Sucker Punch was another one that I couldn't. Yeah, I know. I couldn't get through Sucker Punch.
See, I like that, but I like it for what it is. Not like I wouldn't go, oh man, that's one of the best movies I've ever seen. But I like it because it's just cool. It's a spectacle.
Well, for me, I can watch anything, and as long as it holds me, and none of those hold me. I can't. They don't hold my attention, unfortunately. All right, so I got to stop yakking. So I got everything kind of laid in here. I'm going to jump to. I want to take all of the color that we've laid in. I'm going to put it all together on one layer. So I'm going to merge those layers. So we've got everything on one layer now. So if I turn that off, you can see. Oh, I'm missing the shoe. Let me get the shoe.
Aaron, do you have any tips on directing animation? I'm a student who's only done live action at this point.
Well, I would say before you get into directing animation, I would say do aspects of animation, learn the animation, and jumping. I think you really have to understand the world of animation before you can direct it, and really understand story even more before you can direct it. And that was one thing. When I started out as a director, I'd been animating for 15 years, but I hadn't done much story, and I realized that was one of my biggest downfalls in the early days of my directing, where I really struggled was with understanding the structure and creation of story, and pacing and all of that, and diving right in as a student. That's one of the most common questions I get, and I think directing animation is something you can aspire to. This might be the old man in me talking, but I think it's something you work towards, and you can hit it after 10 or 15 years in the industry. But I do think it takes time. Now, if you want to do shorts and things like that, I think that helps. But it took me a long time to get to the level that I needed to be in order to do it. But that was feature as well. Did I answer the question?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a clipping mask. I've done that over the color layer, and I'm going to set it to multiply. So I just want to lay out some of these. I'm going to do it with a yellow tone. I just want to start laying out very lightly some of these darks, some of the shadow areas. And I'm going to just kind of work towards it. So I'm just lightly going to do this. And this is where I get to start defining some of these wrinkles a little bit more through light and shadow. And that's really what you want to do is get in there and start defining through light and shadow. That's what gives you your form, and it's what also is going to give you your fabric. It's going to give the viewer the information of what that fabric is made of. And so I'm going to be working a lot of these shadows darker, but right now I'm just kind of laying them in. Like here's the ribbon shadow that's being cast across the satin dress.
Are you looking forward to Cruella?
You know, I know nothing about, we were just talking about that the other day. I know nothing about that movie. No, I haven't seen the preview for it, no. I love Emma Stone.
It's tonally, at least from the trailer, it feels like the Joker. I mean, obviously it's not.
Oh, it's that dark?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not going to be that dark.
Right, because it's.
Not going for an R-rated thing on Disney.
So is she a sympathetic villain then?
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Because she is so evil.
But I mean, I don't know how sympathetic she's going to end up being in the end, but there, it's an origin sort of thing.
Because even in Joker, for as far as they take it, I still sympathize with the guy.
Absolutely.
That's one of my favorite movies as far as creating a sympathetic villain.
Perfect casting.
It is really perfect casting, and it's perfect writing too, really, because creating a sympathetic villain is so it gives you such a head start on for your film.
From the director of The Hangover.
Yeah.
Such a different.
Was it the director of The Hangover?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
And talking about Zack Snyder, what do you think about low saturated colors as an artistic decision?
Well, that's absolutely. I mean, black and white's low saturated. So I mean, it's a hard question. That's just an artistic choice, and I'll never knock an artistic choice unless it takes you out of the movie.
And Martin Berger is asking, how are your pets liking the new home?
They are in heaven. They are absolutely in heaven. And I know Nick's pets are the same.
They don't want to come inside now.
Yeah.
I literally am having a hard time getting Misha to come back inside.
Like, you need to come in now. Come inside.
What's the difference between Wolfwalkers and Soul in terms of quality of the story?
I think they're both excellent quality. I think Wolfwalkers kind of breaks new ground a little more in the way that the story is told. It's just, I feel like Soul, it's got that, it definitely has the Pixar vibe to it, which isn't horrible. And like I said, I've said it before, I love everything Pete Docter does, and I'm a huge fan. I just think it's time for someone else to win, and not just because they've won a lot. You know, if Soul was, you know, across the board a better movie, then I would say yes. But I think Wolfwalkers has aspects of it that I just feel are stronger and more refreshing and make me want to see that and watch it again more.
In the rewatch contest with my 4-year-old, Wolfwalkers is the clear winner. He's rewatched that like 20 times. Soul, I think he's rewatched like 2 or 3.
Yeah,
Just hasn't.
that's interesting. That's an interesting way of putting it. The rewatch contest.
Rewatchability.
What's that?
Rewatchability? I don't know.
Erica Bay says, Soul felt too much like Inside Out to me. Love Wolfwalkers.
Yeah, Soul was definitely a spin-off of Inside Out. I can see that.
Well,
But that doesn't make it bad to me.
Same director, same, right?
Yeah.
And Nemanja says, hello from Serbia. Do you like Terrence Malick movies?
No. Was that like the Tree and
Tree of Life. Thin Red
Tree of
Line.
Life? Yeah, I can't. Those are they're too
Too artsy.
indulgent for me. I think the director literally goes out of their way to make things unclear so that the audience has to make their own interpretation, and I tend to be more of a lazy audience goer where I want the director to make clear decisions in their storytelling and take me on the ride. I don't want to be left with, oh, what did that mean? I don't understand. What was he trying to say there? No, I want to know what you're trying to say.
You're so unsophisticated.
I know, right? And I want to walk away, having felt like I've learned something. So I'm putting in some shadows here that are, there's going to be a lot of shadows within shadows and light within shadows and all kinds of stuff, because basically what we've got here is sounds like I'm reciting from Cool Hand Luke. Failure to communicate. We're going to see there we go. Now it's going to look kind of funky, but once we start establishing our darks and lights more strongly, right now it's sort of like laying in local color. I'm laying in local shadow, and then we're going to have shadows within shadows, and like I said, all kinds of interesting, cool stuff.
And Erica's asking, I missed it earlier, when does the costume figures course come out?
We don't have a date yet, but hopefully within the next 4 to 5 weeks.
So within the next month?
Yeah, or more. Next month and a week or month and a half. There we go. Okay. So I've got the basic shadows here established. Now there's going to be areas where I'm going to pull areas, push areas darker and pull areas a little bit lighter, and make things cooler as well.
Cora Dawson asks, would you ever do a pet portrait course with a variety of common pets, a few each of domestics like cats and dogs, birds, fish, reptiles, etc.?
Yeah, that was actually a really successful live course that we did, and so I think it would be a lot of fun to do that as a real course, as a downloadable course, I should say.
What's your favorite food from the Disney parks, if you've been there?
If I've been, churros.
Ooh.
I love me a churro.
Churros are a turkey leg.
Huh? Turkey
leg.
legs too, yeah.
For those that don't know, Aaron was actually an attraction at the Disney park.
Yeah, I worked in the Disney parks.
And Tim Hodge asks, what's the best bad movie you've seen? That is, what awful movie do you love?
Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo. I love that movie.
That is pretty funny. Along those lines, I like Little Nicky.
Oh yeah. So I'm just going in and shoring up some of these shadows.
And then we'll ask, what are your top 3 Studio Ghibli movie opinion? Like
Princess Mononoke,
Mm-hmm.
Totoro, my friend Totoro.
Yeah.
Is that it? Yeah.
And My Neighbor Totoro.
And
I like Spirited Away.
Spirited Away, yeah, it's the other one.
My top 3 would be Princess Mononoke, Castle in the Sky,
Oh, Castle in the Sky was a good
and
one.
Porco Rosso.
You're a Porco Rosso.
Your face is a Porco Rosso. And actually, you know what a Porco Rosso means?
No.
Red pig.
Oh, I
Pig
am,
red.
I am a Porco Rosso. I've never even heard of that movie.
No?
No.
Oh, I love that movie.
So here I've gone in and I'm doing the same thing I just did with the shadows. I'm doing it with the light now, and I've got it set to overlay. And once again, I'm just trying to get this the spirit of the fabric and the wrinkles. I'm not going in and slaving to make sure I have it exactly the way it is in the photograph. That's not my goal. And especially at this stage, what you want to do is just lay in your light and dark patterns, and then we're going to go in with opaque. Right now, I'm doing multiply blend modes and overlay blend modes, but we're going to go in with opaque paint and really push these and get reflected color a lot stronger.
Have you ever worked on any non-Western films?
No. I wish I could say I have, but I have not.
Namaja asks, do you remember the Disney movie The Rescuers?
I worked on The Rescuers Down Under, and I saw The Rescuers when it first came into theaters as a kid. The Rescuers Down Under was my first film as an animator. Or I'm sorry, my first feature, I should say, as an animator.
Emmanuel mentions about your choice of Princess Mononoke. He says, let me guess. Your favorite thing about Princess Mononoke was the wolf.
The wolf was cool. I like the pigs. Those giant pigs.
All of the designs in that movie are awesome.
They are, and the little spirit
I think
creatures.
they're called akudamas.
Yeah.
Yeah, the forest spirits, basically.
Yeah, the forest spirits.
Oh, wait. Tree spirits? Forest spirits?
Yeah,
Yeah, because there's the great forest spirit. Then there's the tree, I think they're tree spirits.
Yeah, they're tree spirits. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the elk-looking creature was the forest spirit, right?
Yeah. Yeah, one of my favorite sequences, when I got to a point where I understood a lot more about animation and how effects work, One of the parts that always blows my mind in Princess Mononoke is the footsteps when the forest spirit comes into shot into
Oh yeah,
frames.
and everything.
You said everything grows and then dies.
It's so
every
much work.
Footstep. Yeah,
It's so much work.
Every step it was all these plants and leaves coming to life and then dying.
Yeah,
and it's almost like each individual plant has their own animation underneath all these footsteps.
That's
it's
true.
Just like, oh my lord.
Here's one for you, Aaron. What's your favorite video game?
You know, I never played video. I used to play a little bit when I was a kid. Pong.
You always forget the games that we used to play were Mario Kart and GoldenEye.
Yeah, I played Bond with those guys, and I played what's the Mario Kart. Yeah, I played Mario Kart with you guys when you were kids, and that was fun.
Oh yeah.
Defender, I think, was my favorite. I played Defender at video game age, and I love that game.
I remember one time though.
I remember blowing $10 on Defender. It was a big deal to me.
I remember one time I was playing a racing game in the game room. It was a series called Forza, and it was you, Mom, and Tim came down to see what I was playing, and
Tim Mertens.
Oh yeah, Tim Mertens. And but I was doing all my drifting, and Dad, you were like, "Oh, I want to try drive," and so I turned all the driving assists on. I turned everything on to make it easier for you to drive. On the first turn, he started doing donuts.
I couldn't control it. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It was fun. It was all fun.
So now what I'm doing is I'm going in and just kind of throwing in very roughly some light areas into the shadow areas, reflected light, more textures, things like that.
Natalie asks, hello there. Could a good portfolio defend you while trying to get into the industry, even if you haven't gotten an exact art degree, but something equivalent, different?
Could it defend you?
Could defend you, like if you're like if you have a good portfolio, could it be just as useful of a tool than requiring an art degree?
A degree. No one needs an art degree. Yeah, no one needs an art degree.
Portfolio is way more important than a degree.
Yeah, that's, you know, as long as you know the job, you can get in. I mean, I don't have a degree. I never got one.
It's all about having a strong portfolio.
Yes. Very much so. I know a lot of guys in the animation industry that don't have degrees.
And have we talked about the idea of doing a course on that sort of subject?
No, we've talked about doing one on the business of art and that sort of thing.
Portfolio, yeah, we talked about that.
But not really a whole course on portfolio, have we?
Yeah, because I used to teach it. We talked about it, remember?
Oh, right. Oh, yeah, because we were going to get more in depth on it. That's right. We should still do that. Nah.
Bruce was watching Toy Story 4. You know
Why?
that scene with the little girl, and then it's like the moment where she, the evil doll is finally gonna, like, the girl's gonna play with her, and it's like the music swells. I'm like, oh, do you want to keep that doll? And she goes, eh, and throws it in the basket and walks away.
Yeah.
Well, Rivers picked that up. So now, like, we ask him stuff, he's like, nah.
Nah. It's funny because my granddaughter does the same thing. Yeah.
I want to point out for those that are new here, we have over 300 hours of art animation training on sale right now at creatureartteacher.com.
Yes, we do, actually.
A lot of them are just $1.
You want to go to that little video, Dustin? Because of COVID, Nick and I last year when COVID first hit, we dropped everything down to $1. A lot of things down to $1. We dropped our animation course we made free. We're only able to do that for a certain amount of time, and we had to pull it back out. But here we are, we're a year later, and Nick and I got together and started talking about it again. We thought, you know what, it might be the right thing to do to bring everything back out, drop the prices again, see if we can do it, which is what we've done. And so it's a limited time again that we're going to be able to do this, but we do want to let you guys continue to learn, because I know a lot of you are still stuck at home, or you're not, at least not in college, not in class. So we want you to be able to continue to learn, and so that's what we're doing. So now I've basically got everything laid out very roughly as far as the light and dark patterns. I'm going to get a little bit more in here. But now what I want to do now is start laying in some of the more warm reflected lights and brighter highlights and that sort of thing. I'm going to come over to my layer 2 where I had these drawings, the more refined drawing. Now I'm going to start erasing that because I don't need it as much anymore now that I've got the shadows defined. And to be honest, it just kind of gets in the way.
Will you be making any custom brushes for the lace?
Probably not. No, because it's really not about that. I might make something. Who knows? We might find a need for it. But here we are. So now I've got a very rough kind of layout of how I want that fabric sitting. And now I want to go in and start working right over the top of it. And I'm working over the drawings too. And so one thing I want to do in here is get a really nice warm and brighter yellow happening in here. And what you'll see is you'll start to see it feel like we're getting bounced light in here. Like light is being reflected up from where light is hitting the dress. Like that. And I'm going to continue that over into here, right through the shadow of the lace. I'll just continue this over. And then we'll push shadows a little bit darker in other areas. So already you'll start to see, I can start to see anyway, the feel of this reflected light coming up, shining up into the dress folds. You're just creating this nice rich yellow. This is where you start to get the feel of that warmth of the sun coming through. Now you would do this no matter what medium you're working in. You go in and you start adding in these reflected lights and it really starts to come together in that way.
What kind of jobs can a sculptor have nowadays?
Well, a lot of guys are working digitally. Tony Cipriano, great sculptor, working digitally.
They do all kinds of stuff. Character sculpting and for film to, Tony does stuff for amusement parks, to toy designs, to all kinds of stuff. Christmas ornaments.
Yep, all kinds of stuff. Depends on what you're looking for, depends on what you want to do, I should say. There should be a little more here. I'm going to drop that percentage down a little bit so I can get a little bit more subtle some of these reflected lights. So I'm just adding this warmth to these areas where light is going to come through and bounce. Getting a lot of bounced light at the bottoms of these tube folds. I am a tube fold. I'm going to jump back and forth. So now I'm going to go brighter too. Let's do that. Let's do some brighter areas like in the knee where it gets super bright, almost white. Just focus on getting these folds because how are we doing on time?
It is
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock, yep.
Well, we did have a late start, that's right. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to hit the highlight edges of some of these folds to get that satiny feel. Got it over here. And this to me, I would count this as kind of, even though it's taking us a fair amount of time, I'd still consider this kind of a sketch. You know, to do something really nice would take a little more careful examination and execution, but to me, sketching something out like this, you learn so much in how the values are structured, the reflected lights.
Cora Dawson asks, Aaron, what's man, what's the best gift someone has given you?
Life.
Life.
The best gift someone has given me. Wow. You know, a lot of people have given me a lot of different things. It's hard to narrow it all down to one best gift.
I gave you that Sizzler coupon.
You did give me, actually, Nick gave me a Sizzler coupon that was really, man, that was a good steak, man.
I mean, there was like $3 left on it. I gave it to you. So,
Yeah. So there was that.
It's all you can eat barbecue rib night.
That's right. That's it. It's Nick's Sizzler, $3 left on the coupon. No, it's hard to say. I mean, and it's, you know, I've had a lot of great gifts. You know, I've had, my parents have, you know, my father, my stepfather, I always had great advice from them that really helped. You know, at the time you don't see them as gifts, but you come to appreciate them as you grow older. And you know, some of the pieces of advice that I are just life lessons that I learned from my fathers, both my father and my stepfather, who was a great guy. They were just great lessons, life lessons. The biggest one being, don't chase the dollar. So many people are so concerned about how much money they're going to make, and they, you know, I want to do this career because I want to make this kind of money, and that it's a hard way to plan your life, and ultimately you'll be disappointed because you're doing something you don't feel a passion for. Whereas if you're just going after something you love, the money will be there eventually. And if it and if it doesn't, don't care because you love doing it anyway. But I don't. But truly though, it's being able to pursue a career because you love it rather than you're trying to make enough money to get by. There's a difference there, and I've had the joy of being able to. Sure, times have been tight, but I've always loved what I'm doing. And I've been doing this for 33 years. Always loved it. So now we're starting to get the kind of some of the fabric rounded out. It's a little quick feeling, you know, like I said, it feels a bit sketchy. But now I'm gonna come in here and get some of these. It's gonna be a little cooler color in here.
Which brush is that you're using, and from what set? Thanks.
This is my my pastel C brush that I use for just about everything. It's from my original custom brush set.
How does digital art translate into traditional art and the other way around?
Well, for me, digital art and traditional art are when you're approaching it to actually do it, you follow the same fundamentals. I'm following the same lighting fundamentals and color fundamentals, and it's just the mediums are different. So there's a difference there. But as far as, you know, what I'm thinking about, I'm thinking the same way with both. With digital art, I can approach it a little differently because of just the nature of the medium than, let's say, a watercolor painting or an oil painting or acrylic painting. So you can see what I'm doing here is there's areas within the shadows that get more reflected light, but it's a cooler light. So that's what I'm trying to get across right here. I'm hitting those details. Remember, we started broad and we worked towards the details. So there's a complexity I want to try to get right in here. Right here. With the way these folds work.
Mohita Sharma asks, can we see your live video recordings if we want to watch it later, as most of the times I miss your live videos because of time differences?
You mean this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
these are always available on YouTube.
They're on Facebook.
And Facebook.
And Zonji asks, do you think you would ever set up an old school studio in your new house? Like diffuse northern light, site size figurative painting on canvas, etc.?
I'm trying to do that a little bit now. So I've got windows on three sides of the studio. The main side is north facing. And then everything else is fairly covered, so I'm not getting any direct southern light coming in. We're working towards it a little bit.
It's getting there.
It's getting better all the time. So now I'm just trying to define a few more folds here. See, this is the part you can go in and really, you can work this a lot because it takes a lot of work to get these folds right. And you want to think about the folds logically as well. You know, how they're sitting. How do they work?
Tim Hodge says, I gotta run, Aaron. See you later. Love
See
that
ya.
dress.
See you later, Timmy. Timmy. Once again, for those of you that just came on in the last 30 minutes or so, Tim Hodge has a brand new course on storyboarding for television. Sorry, I was thinking about a fold here and I got lost in the fold. Storyboarding for television, TV animation. So it's a very cool course. You can pre-order it right now. If you go on over to creatureartteacher.com, you'll find it over there. And it's awesome. Sorry, I'm in a complex area here.
What year was the first live stream? Can't remember. It was
right after Walt died, right?
Yeah, right after Walt died.
I think it was
2016.
Yeah, or I think it was towards the end of. No, it was like the beginning of 2017, because the end of 2016 was when I got on board and introduced live streaming a couple of months afterwards. So I think it was the beginning of 2017. Yeah.
Actually, we did live stream before that. We did them on Facebook.
Right, that's right. Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't the first live streams like through the phone or something?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was through phones, and it wasn't.
We didn't know. Well, we knew what we were doing, but
They were traditional. It was like animating at a desk.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it was you had the animation desk set up next to the stairway.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it was a month or so later after that, and I introduced OBS.
Oh, BS. Don't you love it when I do that, Dustin?
Oh yeah, it's bleeding. I mean, ringing to my ears.
Yeah. Never gets old. Just like the just like a lift in Scotland, exactly. All right.
It's just like that. I'm all out of questions.
It's okay. So I'm coming in now and pushing a couple of areas a little darker.
Do you have touch turned off on your Cintiq?
Yes. I have found touch to be very annoying.
It's very touchy.
It is very touchy. It's very buggy, I think. And I don't use it at all. There we go.
There we go.
So there's we're getting our little sketch. I'm gonna finish this up off camera. I'm gonna do a little bit more, but I probably got like 2 more hours worth of work on this, and I'm hungry. But I'll definitely post the finish to this later on. So stay tuned. In the next day or so, I'll have the finish to this image posted. I'm going to keep going just another 20 minutes or so. There. just going in and get subtle. I'm trying to get subtle shifts in color in the yellows.
Just for the record, and it was what I thought. Our first live video was in 2016. It was a demo at the animation desk, and it was actually at my house.
Oh, was that the first one?
That's the first one we ever did, the first live.
Remember you and I talking about it? Yeah. We must have said, hey, let's just try it.
Yep. We did the charcoal demo after that. All Facebook things back when. All fun. Paul on YouTube says, I think the touch on the 32 is actually more glitchy than on the 22.
Oh, I'm sure. I just don't have any good luck with it for sure.
Do you play guitar? I saw some in the earlier videos.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Have you moved your guitars over here yet?
No, they're still in the other house. The room right behind me over here is going to become our music room. It's going to be fun.
For this illustration, is the area of focus just going to be the dress, or are you going to do detail on everything else, the chair, and model, etc.?
I'm going to put some detail on other areas, but the main demo here, because I wanted to talk about folds and drapery, is obviously the dress.
Now, you might have touched on it a little bit, but how do you get the look like it's got a nice satiny look to it?
It's that satiny look is getting those highlights, like with the white. It's getting those in there, and the broader the range in value between dark and light, the more satiny something will feel. So if you want something to feel like it's a knitted material, then the highlights don't go super highlight, or super bright. You can go as dark as you want, but you can't go super too bright with them, because it makes it feel like it's a shiny material. So it's all about your highlights to make something feel like it's a shiny material. And that's what I'm doing right here.
Zoji asks, are you familiar with the pen drawings of Paul Heston?
Yes. That guy's awesome. We flew together coming back from Los Angeles. We took the same, because I think he was at the at Lightbox. So we connected in Denver, he and I, and I introduced myself and noticed he was on the plane. So we talked the whole way back, and I told him I was a big fan, and we just had a great time. It was nice. The guy's an amazing draftsman. So here I'll pick little areas and just kind of correct the color. I'm back to the highlights again.
Cora Dawson commented she could be a modern day Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
And Erica is asking, this layer is on normal, correct?
Correct. This is a normal layer. Come in here. Yeah, what is normal? Are any of us really normal?
What is normal?
I think most of us are Abby.
Abby normal?
Abby normal.
Abby normal.
You mean to tell me
you put an abnormal brain into what was this? A 7 foot, 200 pound Gorilla.
What do you do with the file? How long do you keep your files?
Oh, I only keep them for about 10 minutes and then I dump them. No, we keep every file. We keep every file.
Just junk it.
They go in, we have a Dropbox account. Everything goes into our Dropbox account. And then we back everything else up in other areas as well. Basically, kind of.
Multiple redundant backups.
Yeah, we have a lot of different backups.
They have a backup for the backup that backs up the backup and have another
Yes.
backup for that backup.
We really do. There, just rounding out that leg a little bit.
Rounding it 8.
Rounding it out.
8.
I'm going to add a little bit of detail down in these lower areas.
Are there any books you recommend about drapery or cloth?
Not specifically. I haven't been able to find any books specifically for that subject, and so because I'm educating myself along the way as well. I've been doing a lot of drapery and folds my whole life, or not my whole life, but my whole career. But there's certain things that you know, but you don't know, like just terminology on how certain way drapery falls and that sort of thing. So I always try to brush up before I start a new course, and try to find the books that would help me do it. And in this case, I haven't really found too many books. There we go.
This is my own question. Did you ever have any interest in like fashion illustration?
I did a little bit, not really, no, but I did a little bit when I met at Disney. There were several artists there that came from the fashion illustration background, and I really dug their drawings. And it wasn't until I was exposed to that type of work that I thought I just got interested in it. I just thought it was really cool.
Fashion
illustration.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a fashion illustration. I mean, I know of like fashion designers and
Yeah, fashion design, but you illustrate for that. Yep, same idea.
All clothes usually start as a drawing.
Oh yeah.
So here I'm going to get some of these details worked out just right.
YouTuber suggests Dynamic Wrinkles and Drapery by Vern Hogarth.
Oh yeah, I forgot Vern Hogarth did that, along with his dynamic anatomy. I had the Vern Hogarth Dynamic Anatomy book when I was a kid. He's very, very stylized in his approach. So you got to be a little bit careful, and take everything he says is great.
Well, he really exaggerates it
But
for the sake of demonstration,
yeah,
I think, right?
yeah, especially with the anatomy.
Sylvester Massey says, friendly reminder, time to save the file.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you think we're almost at the one more thing portion?
No, and I'm not going to let you push me either. We're getting into some of these little wrinkles, and but I do want to save it. Fabric demo.
Save it in the live streams folder.
File, save as. Fabric demo, where? Let's go to live stream, Project Dolphin. Live streams. We got so many folders. Live stream images. Save. Okay. There it is. You know, one thing I haven't done yet is flopped it.
I ordered an adapter for that microphone at the beginning of the live stream.
Oh yeah?
It just showed up at my house.
Really?
That's like less than 2 hours.
One of the benefits of where Nick and I have moved to is we're right in the middle of a Amazon hub. So half the stuff we get is same day now.
So
Same day, it's like same
within 3 hours.
within 3 hours, yeah. So I'm going to go through and clean up some of these areas, but I think we're pretty much in the pocket, in the zone.
With the unfinished line and stuff, it reminds me of like a early, French illustration or something like
Yeah.
that, like that whole era.
Well, I've got a lot of. I'm going to keep it somewhat rough. I mean, you can see how rough it is.
Well, I mean, like with the chair not being finished.
Right.
Like that,
And I'll probably keep it like that.
Yeah. It feels like a fashion illustration or a Toulouse-Lautrec or something.
Yeah. But one thing I do want to do is just get a little bit of color behind her.
Speaking of France, someone just asked the question, what do you think about animation in France?
I don't know the French animation. I know Studio Ghibli, the schools and things like that, but I don't know the French animation scene well enough.
Gobelin, you mean?
Oh yeah, Gobelin. What did I say? Oh, Ghibli. Sorry, Gobelin. I don't know the French animation scene well enough to have an opinion, but I mean, there's a lot of great stuff going on in Europe. Yeah.
I mean, there was the Disney studio, right? You went over there, right?
Yeah, those guys were from all over the place.
But it was based in Paris, right?
It was. Yeah,
'Cause I always
the
heard-
Brizzi brothers are French, and they're geniuses.
I always heard that they bought that studio just to get them to do the Firebird sequence for
Yep,
Fantasia 2000. Is that true?
that's pretty much true. Yeah. Have you seen? Have you recently seen it? I mean, it is unbelievably brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, no, actually, I watched it recently with Rivers. I was surprised he actually enjoyed Fantasia.
The amount of detail, it's mind-boggling. It's like your mind is in a bottle. Yeah. You ever see that with Will Ferrell? It's like it's mind-boggling. Did you just say mind-boggling? Yes, like my mind is in a bottle. Can't get out. Now what's what I want to do here is I want to get a little bit of light on her arm. Now, one thing that I haven't done yet is little things like this, like the yellow. I want to create another. Move up on top. The yellow reflected light reflecting back on her arm. There's so much light coming off of this dress that's being reflected back up. It's going to bounce on her arm. We're going to get yellow light over here.
For storyboarding, will Photoshop be good enough, or do I need to find a program specific for storyboarding?
I think Photoshop is good enough.
Yeah, in fact, in the course, Tim Hodge talks about that, but I mean, you can storyboard on pencil and paper.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
In fact, he supplies templates for that if you want to work on paper.
Yeah, too many people get hung up on when we do these courses. Well, once again, if it's not a software specific course, don't get hung up on the software. More than likely, you'll be able to follow along on paper if you wanted to, pencil and paper. Although I don't think anybody even uses pencil and paper anymore. It seems like.
pencil and paper, is that in the App Store?
Yeah. And it's called pencil and paper.
Triplets of Elbow, was that French?
Yes.
That was, yep.
Very awesome.
The Red Turtle, that's a French production.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the Red Turtle. That's a great one.
That was a TV Paint, but a French production. The Cartoon Saloon kind of worked on that in some capacity too, I think. Even though they're out of Ireland, I think they might have done some shots on it. Remember?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I haven't seen Calamity Jane yet.
I've seen bits of it.
Yeah. I don't think it's out over here yet. So, friend Klaus.
Yeah, I've got access to the movie. Klaus,
Oh,
yeah, he sent it to me. You and I should watch it.
Oh, I'd love to.
Because I watched, I got through a good part of it, and then I got called away. I had to go do something. And it's really beautiful.
It looks a lot like the other one that they did, the Long Way North.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah. So I've got a lot to do in the face to get this face working right. But we got some cool stuff happening in the, what the heck happened there? Something got moved.
Uh-oh.
Undo.
Oh no.
Oh man, I guess move that there. Is it just it's just that there. Well, let me see if I can go back. No, that's what I'm doing, but I think I drew too much. Oh, maybe. No. But I think I can just go boop. Boop. Yeah, something happened. I moved it somehow. Didn't realize I moved it. I think I'm basically in the right place. There we go. It's like, what is that all about? What happened there?
I know, right?
Yeah. So, here's our beginning of a fabric dress fold demonstration with satiny highlights. I'm going to go in and really refine this, like I said, and I'm going to post the finish. Probably I'll finish it tonight. Give me something to do. That'll be my Friday night. That's what happened. That's how excited I am. How exciting I am.
Exciting you are?
Yeah, that's how exciting I am. I hang out on Friday night and paint. There we go. Actually, I'm gonna get into this one. This is gonna be fun. But I want you guys to see the way, at least how I get to this point, which is laying down that rough drawing, not laboring over it, making sure that you're loose but not sloppy, meaning you want to get those silhouette shapes right, and then once you get that silhouette, you can get in there and start working the folds, and then once you have those in there, then you start really working the nuances, the subtleties of the reflected light coming through fabric, light reflecting onto the fabric, all that sort of thing. I'm about 80% of the way on the fabric. I've got about, or maybe even 70%. I've got about 30% of cleaning it up and getting some more subtleties. Then I'm going to get into her a little bit more. And then I am going to get some of that chair in there, and I'm going to keep that background somewhat loose because I want the focus to remain on the satin, that satiny finish, that lovely satiny finish. And so anyway, there you go. That's it. Actually, one more thing.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. One more thing.
What is the one more thing?
He's doing it. He's drawing.
I'm doing it. I just wanted to hit a little. There's a fold that was bothering me, and it feels better now. There we go.
There we go.
There we go. There we go. Folds, folks. Folds, ladies and gentlemen.
Lots of folds.
It's a lot of fun. So once again, I want to reiterate, we've got Tim Hodges' course on storyboarding for television is out now, and it's really very, very good, and we're very excited about it. Out for pre-order, sorry, yes. I got to be more specific. It's out for pre-order. It's great. And like I said, I recommend that, you know, if you're an animator, I still recommend learning the storyboard. It will help you. It will help you work with the other people down the assembly line when you're making these films. Just understanding everyone else's job really helps in the long run. And so check out Tim Hodges' course. We've also got the Earth Day image. That's still available, the one that I created yesterday. 100% of the proceeds that we earn from the Earth Day image is going to charity. We are not keeping a penny of it. So if you want to help out a good charity and help the earth, then go ahead and grab that print. And also I want to mention that you can pay whatever you want as long as it's at least $1. We just ask a minimum $1, and then pay whatever you want beyond that. So there's that. Anything else to add? Oh, and our dollar sale or extremely reduced prices are still happening. Many of our courses and brushes are $1, and some of our courses are as low as they've ever been. So definitely go to the website to check all that out. Oh, I'm right there. Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, I was looking. I was just looking at the folds and kind of talking. But here I am. And let's see. That's about it. I really had a good time going over this with you guys. Like I said, next week.
Show the original photo compared
to the. So here's where we are. Here's the original.
Original?
The original. Let me bring this over here. So that's, I wanted, like I said, once again, focusing on the folds. I've got a lot of warmth that I still want to put into here in some of the details on the dress, but you can start to see how it starts to come to life, and that's the big focus. You know, train your eye to be sensitive to not just the drawing contours of the folds, but the subtle, not just value differences, but temperature differences. That's a big one with this. And the temperature differences is something that I've got quite a bit more to push on here. There's some really deep warms that we want to get that really will enhance that feeling of reflected light. And so that's what you want to push for. And there's that. So, yeah, and stick around. You know, be on the lookout for our social media in the next day or so, because I'll post the finish of this. I'm going to work on it this evening. But that's about all I got. I hope you guys had a great time. I hope you learned something. And like I said, come check us out next week, because we're going to do this live. We're going to have a model sitting. It might be Gloria. It might be Nick. It might be, who knows? It might be a dog. Probably won't be a dog. But we're going to do about 10-minute poses of very quick sketching, and we're trying to set it up in a way that you guys can sketch along with us with another camera. I hope we can do it. But anyway, I hope you guys learned something, had a great time. I really enjoyed it. Have a great week. Have a wonderful weekend. Be nice to somebody. Go out, put some beauty back in the world. And I will talk to you next week. Thanks.
See you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Glad you guys enjoyed the stream. And in case for any newcomers are interested in any wildlife photography, you can check out my Instagram over at Dustin_Blaise. I'm actually planning on posting a new photo later in the day, so keep an eye out for that. And also you can get my photo reference packs on creatureartteacher.com as well, so be sure to go over there and check those out. And do you have anything to add, Nick? We all good?
Stole his thunder.
Well, talk to you guys later. And I'll go ahead and end this stream with the with Tim Hodges' commercial. So with that being said, you guys have a great weekend. See you guys next week. And as always, Cowboy Bebop. See ya.
Hi art friends, Tim Hodge here, and I'm really happy to announce the release of my new series of lessons with CreatureArtTeacher.com, Storyboarding for TV Animation. I take you through step by step the creative process, from staging your shots to setting up characters for better acting, camera placement, and creating clear facial expressions. And most importantly, putting shots together to tell a story. I even take you through step by step of the creative process on this particular storyboard I've been working on about a pirate and a monkey in a battle of wits over a treasure. But it's not just watching me do storyboards. I've also included some scripts for you to produce yourself. I've included model sheets and location drawings and even an audio track with actors reading the parts so you can cut together your own animatic if you want to. So stay tuned. I can't wait for you to enjoy it. Again, that's storyboarding for TV animation at CreatureArtTeacher.com.